According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, more than 530,000 children were found to be victims of abuse or neglect in 1 year. But you did not grow up thinking you were neglected. You stood in a clean kitchen, holding a school paper in your hand, waiting for someone to look up and ask why your face changed. And nobody did. You did not call it trauma. You did not call it abandonment. You did not call it anything. That is the strange part about childhood emotional neglect. It can happen in a house with groceries in the fridge, family photos on the wall, and parents who swear they did their best. From the outside, the house looked fine. The lights were on. The door was locked. Dinner happened. Homework happened. Birthdays happened. But inside, something basic was missing. Not food, not clothes, not a bed, a response. Over the next 8 minutes, you will understand why you say sorry when nothing is your fault, why rest feels like you are getting away with something, why you can read everyone in the room, but somehow cannot read yourself, and why the habits you call your personality may actually be old instructions from a house where feelings had nowhere to go. And if a part of you already feels that tight little pressure in your chest, do one small thing. Let the video keep playing while you stop pretending this is about someone else. Because here is the question that matters. If nothing terrible happened, why did you have to become so careful?
You were not always like this. There was a time you were the one who ran into the room with news, the one who brought drawings to the table, the one who talked too fast because your whole body was excited. You showed people things. You asked for help. You cried without first checking if the room could handle it. Then, slowly, you learned. You learned which face made your parents sigh. You learned which questions got a tired answer. You learned which feelings made the room go flat. So you started editing yourself before anyone had to tell you. You swallowed the complaint. You smiled at the wrong moment. You said, "I'm fine," because fine was easier for everyone. And one day, you didn't pick up the phone, and the world didn't end. It got quieter. Dr. Jonas Webb, a psychologist who helped popularize the term childhood emotional neglect, describes it as what happens when a parent fails to notice, attend to, or respond enough to a child's feelings. Simple translation: the problem was not always what they did to you. Sometimes it was what never happened after you reached for them. You came home upset, and nobody sat beside you. You got quiet at dinner, and nobody asked the second question. You were scared, embarrassed, jealous, proud, hurt, confused, and the house just kept moving, like your inner life was background noise.
A child cannot look around and say, "The adults in this house are emotionally under-equipped." A child says, "Maybe my feelings are too much. Maybe I should need less. Maybe I should handle this alone." That sentence does not stay in childhood. It grows up with you. It learns how to send emails. It learns how to date. It learns how to sit in a meeting and say, "No worries," when there are very much worries. But how do those old instructions show up in your actual life now? You are writing a message, and before the actual sentence, you type, "Sorry to bother you." Then you delete it. Then you type it again. The person has not even responded yet, and your body is already trying to reduce the cost of your presence. You tell yourself you are just polite, but actually, you are trying to enter the room softly enough that nobody gets irritated. That skill probably kept things smoother when you were young. The price is that as an adult, you keep treating your own needs like they require a warning label. Then there is rest. You sit on the couch with your phone next to you, and within seconds you feel that pull. Laundry, email, dishes, something, anything. You are not even enjoying the break. You are monitoring it. Like someone might walk in and catch you doing nothing. You tell yourself you are hardworking, but actually, your body may have learned that being useful was safer than simply being present. The skill is obvious. You can get things done. People trust you. You deliver. The price is that peace feels suspicious unless you are exhausted enough to deserve it. And then there is the room scan. You walk into a dinner, a meeting, a family gathering, and before you take off your jacket, you already know who is tense. You notice the tight smile, the short answer, the way someone puts a glass down harder than normal. Other people are still choosing where to sit. You are already reading weather. You tell yourself you are intuitive, but actually, you learned to track moods because moods used to change the temperature of the whole house. The skill is real. You can sense things other people miss. The price is that you rarely enter a room as a person. You enter it as a detector. Stop. Before we go further, everything you have heard so far is not a compliment in pretty packaging. These are real adaptations of your psyche. They helped you survive a house where the emotional lights flickered. But a survival skill can still hurt you when you keep using it after the danger is gone. Now, look at asking for help.
You will watch 3 videos, read 5 articles, try the thing yourself, mess it up, fix it, mess it up again, and only then maybe text someone, "Do you have a second?" Even that text feels heavy. You stare at it longer than you should. You add a smiley face to make the need look smaller. You tell yourself you are independent, but actually, you may have learned that needing someone creates a debt you cannot pay. The skill is that you became capable, very capable. The price is that people can love you and still never get the chance to show up for you because you do not let them see the part that needs showing up for. And finally, there is the emotional blank. Someone asks, "How are you really?" And you freeze for half a second. Not because you are lying, because you have to search. You know your schedule, you know your responsibilities, you know what everyone else needs, but your own feeling is somewhere in a drawer without a label. You tell yourself you are bad at emotions, but actually, nobody may have helped you build the map. A child learns feelings through being mirrored. That hurt you. You seem disappointed. That was scary. Without that, you can grow into someone who feels deeply, but names everything as tired, stressed, fine, or weird. The skill is that you can function through almost anything. The price is that you might not notice you are drowning until your body starts sending louder signals. And here is the part most people miss. These habits do not look dramatic from the outside. They look responsible, nice, calm, mature, easy to be around. So how do you know when being easy to be around has started costing you your actual self? But here is where it gets complicated. Some of the things you are proud of may have started as things you had no choice but to become. Being low maintenance, being the calm one, being the person who never asks for much, being the one who says, "It's okay," before they have even checked if it is okay. Those traits can build a good life. They can make you reliable. They can make you thoughtful. They can make people feel safe around you, but they can also hide you. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unknown because everybody knows the managed version, the version that answers quickly, the version that does not make things awkward, the version that can tell when someone else is upset but needs 3 business days to figure out what hurt its own feelings. This is why the goal is not to become needy, dramatic, or impossible to be around. That is not healing. That is just another extreme. The goal is to stop confusing self-erasure with maturity. Here is the sentence to remember. Neglect is the absence of response you needed. Healing is the return of attention you now give yourself. That is the difference.
This is not only for people who had cold parents. It is for anyone who learned to earn affection by being easy. Anyone who became funny so nobody noticed they were hurting. Anyone who became useful so nobody questioned their worth. Anyone who became quiet because quiet caused fewer problems. And the hardest part is not realizing your childhood affected you. The hardest part is allowing your adult life to stop obeying a house you no longer live in. So what does that actually look like when you are not just understanding it, but changing it? If you are watching this and wondering if something is wrong with you, hear me. You are not too sensitive. You are not broken. You are not secretly weak. You are someone who learned to survive by needing less than you actually needed. And that can change. The Harvard study of adult development has followed people for more than 85 years, and the main finding is painfully simple. Good relationships keep people healthier and happier. Not perfect relationships. Not hundreds of people. Not a packed contact list. Relationships where you can be known, supported, and safe enough to be real. So start small. Do not turn your whole life into a healing project. Just catch one apology before it leaves your mouth. Let one person help with one small thing. Sit down without earning it, and let your body complain for a while. When someone asks how you are, try one word more honest than fine.
Not the whole story, just one more honest word. Your nervous system does not need a speech, it needs evidence. Repeated, ordinary evidence that the old house is not in charge anymore. If your circle gets smaller but more honest, you are not doing this wrong. If you stop being available for people who only liked the quiet version of you, you are not failing. If rest feels uncomfortable at first, that does not mean you are lazy. It means your body is meeting a new rule. The door is open now. You do not have to keep living like every feeling needs permission. Leave the light on. If this gave you the permission you did not know you needed, press the button below whose name I will not even say. You know which one. And write one word in the comments. What do you feel right now?